Welcome back. It is RacerX, and today, guys, I want to talk a little bit about kind of a controversial type of racing, and that is roll racing. And for those of you that have never roll raced, it can be a lot of fun. It can also be a little bit dangerous if it's not done the right way. I want to talk a little bit about some of the pitfalls of roll racing, how to do it right, and hopefully keep everybody safe out there. So, guys, also, if you have not tuned into the channel and you are new, hit the subscribe button down there on the bottom. Here we go. We got the 1,000 horsepower hellcat. So for anyone out there that's really a true sports car enthusiast or somebody that's owned fast cars, I think the temptation is always there to try and exhibit some of that power on the road. And I think, you have to do things obviously responsibly. I think if you're not really lying to yourself, I think anybody that's ever kind of been out there and had a fast car has tried to exhibit it at one point or another. You've been cruising down the road and maybe somebody pulls up next to you, and regardless of what it is, you want to kind of see how your car stacks up. Now, there's a time and a place for everything, and I do want to kind of mention this first and foremost. I don't necessarily condone street racing and being unsafe. Let's keep our roads safe out there, guys. And you always want to make sure you do things in a smart way. And honestly, a lot of tracks are actually starting to go to roll racing as opposed to just straight drag racing. And I participated in some of those events in the past, and they can actually be quite fun. And there's a certain way that you do that. But you know what, guys? There is a certain way that you can actually perform a little bit better. There are ways you can win at roll racing, and I'd like to share a few of those little tips with you. So I decided to go ahead and grab the 1,000 horsepower hellcat, maybe do a little bit of driving, and I want to show you guys a couple of things in terms of how I roll race this car. And there's a little bit to be learned about each and every make of car and how that car makes power. So I actually want to show you one of the dyno sheets from this car, so I can kind of show you where the sweet spot is for power in this car. And that really is the idea of roll racing. How do you get your car at the right RPM and the right gear to where it's going to make the optimum amount of power, shift in the right spot, and give yourself the best chance really to win. And I mean, there are so many variables when it comes to roll racing, guys. So that's the truth of it. I mean, a lot of it has to do with obviously the air outside, the traction on the road. For example, this car, even with the ET Street R's on the back, lowered to say 25 pounds, still will not hook at 40 miles an hour. It just doesn't do it. So 50 mile an hour seems to be the minimum that I can kind of hook this car, and with any amount of success whatsoever. And some of you guys may have actually seen that in my race versus Motor Tube, and we actually hooked in quite nicely at about 50 on the highway, but anything below that, I literally could not hook the car up. So there. So there's something to be said for that. But also, guys, you want to make sure that you understand how your car is geared. You want to make sure you know kind of where your car makes the most power and kind of the way to optimize that. And there are ways that you can actually beat a car that might be a little bit faster than you if you know what you're doing. And so that's kind of the key. So I'm actually going to show you how I roll race this car, and maybe for those of you with a hellcat out there, or possibly even a 392, you might be able to learn a little bit more about how to roll race and how to win. So first and foremost, as with most cars, a lot of it depends on your setup. I mean, I typically keep this car in a custom drive mode setting, which would be the power in 700. As we know, the car makes more power than that, but that's the option you get. And then, of course, my transmission, I keep that in sport. I don't put it in track, I put it in sport. And then my paddle shifters, I leave those on, and actually the reason I do that is because I downshift, which I'll show you. The traction in sport really shouldn't matter. If you're roll racing, as long as you're hooking up, it shouldn't really make any difference. And the suspension, you can either keep it, it shouldn't matter a whole lot with a roll race, not like it would with drag racing, but I typically just keep it in sport mode. Sometimes I'll put it in street. It really shouldn't matter a whole lot. Those of you with different kind of vehicles, whether it's a Mustang or a Camaro, Corvette, or whatever, I mean, the drive modes, you can select those and just play with them to see what works out best for you. But definitely make sure you have it in a more aggressive transmission setting, because that's going to to give yourself the best chance to win. The car's going to shift gears a little bit more aggressively, and so don't get caught out there with either the lower power mode or with it in just normal, like almost like limp type mode or street mode. It's not going to do you any favors in a roll race. Okay, so here is the reality. When you're roll racing, it really all depends on, it really just kind of depends on what your RPM is, and that's really the biggest thing. Some of you may remember a video that I did a while back where Mrs. X was test driving a Mustang GT, and she actually ended up losing because she was at the wrong RPM. And then, do it. Go. Really what makes a huge difference when it comes to roll racing is if you're too low in the RPM and you're too high in the gear, it typically, your car almost kind of bogs when you go to accelerate, and you want that car to have a really hard snap as soon as you hit the throttle. So you know, I want to talk a little bit about kind of how roll races start, the right way to do it, and you know, that obviously that makes a big difference, and kind of where the RPM should be set. So the RPM in my car, and of course I'm in a 1,000 horsepower Hellcat as we mentioned, I like about 3,700 RPM. That seems to be a really nice little sweet spot for my car, and I can show you that on the dynograph. Sorry about the sun there, guys. But you know, the 3,700 RPM seems to work out really, really well for me because it puts enough power at the back tire where hopefully I'm not breaking loose, but it puts me right at the sweet spot in the RPM band where the car's still making a ton of power and still has a little bit of room to pull. And so really all it is, guys, is make sure the paddle shifters are on, and then it's simply a matter of downshifting, okay? And I'm about 43 miles an hour right now, and guys, I will spin if I completely nail it, but I'm gonna go ahead and lower the RPM. Here we go. And so now I can put a little speed to it. Right there's 3750, and you can hear the car winding up. And so as soon as the other car pulls up, you can go ahead and hit it, RPM band, and it is stupid fast. But you know what, guys, that seems to be what works for this car, and you really have to experiment with what works for your car. And the good thing is this is easy to practice, guys. It's not hard to practice kind of where you want to hit in the RPM band and what is right for your individual setup. And keep in mind that as you mod your car, that kind of spot in the RPM band, that sweet spot, may actually change a little bit. So you got to put the time in when you're not racing people to understand exactly, you know, kind of what works for you. Okay, so here are my drive modes. As you can see, everything's ready to go. And right over here, we're traveling at 40 miles an hour. I'm going down a little back road. I'm actually going to pick up a little bit of speed, okay? So someone basically comes up on you. We're going to try and get our RPM set to about 3750. So we're going to downshift using the left paddle here. So we're going to just downshift. We're keeping the car in automatic now, guys. One more gear. Boom, here we go. Give it a little bit more speed. There's 3750. As soon as we round the bend here, you'll be able to see the car. And 1, 2, 3. We're off. Oh, we're spinning. And we're going to bring it back down. So as you can see, that's a very effective power band for this monster. So for those of you that have had your car dynoed before, take a close look at what your dynograph looks like and kind of where your horsepower numbers really sit. I mean, what is the shape of your power curve? Is it nice and linear? Does it kind of flatline and come up like a turbo maybe? Or, you know, it really just depends on what kind of power your car makes and how it makes the power as to what RPM is kind of ideal for you. I want to show you my dyno sheet. It's on a Mustang dyno. Keep that in mind, guys. So here we have the graph for the car. As you can see here, this is my horsepower line there. Here you've got the torque line. And 3,700, 3,800, somewhere, there's 3,850, which is basically where we left. You can see here, we're making somewhere around 580 horsepower, and you can see the torque is really, really up there. We're gonna be making about 780 foot-pounds of torque, or pound-feet of torque, if you wanna call it that. But you can see there's still a lot of room to kind of build, but it, you know, if you were to hit it, say down here, all the way right here, say 2,800, you can see the car will be making significantly less power when you actually hit the accelerator, and it's going to put you at a huge disadvantage. So you want to kind of be really in a nice solid area of your power graph to be able to take advantage of what your car makes power-wise. So how do roll races typically start? So as you're cruising along, you either might see somebody up there that you think would be fun to race, or somebody might see you and want to seek you out and have you race. Either way, you're going to get somebody that kind of pulls up beside you, kind of gives you a look like, hey, let's go. You might get them to do the little rev, you can hear. But at any rate, typically a roll race is going to start one of two ways. You're either going to have somebody give the 3 honks, which is a pretty typical way to do things, especially when you only have 2 people in each car. Meaning a driver in each car. So you're going to get a cadence kind of like 1, 2, 3, and on that 3rd honk is when you go. Now those of you that know how to roll race and have done a lot of it, you don't leave on the 3rd honk. You kind of have to have in your head what that cadence sounds like. If you leave exactly when the 3rd honk goes off, you're probably going to lose. So you have to kind of anticipate when you feel like that 3rd honk is going to hit, because when you're trying to come back on somebody, even if you have a more powerful car, it can be really difficult, and you're already working at a little bit of a disadvantage. So don't let the other guy jump you, but also don't leave too early, because it kind of ruins the sport of what you're doing. You know, so try and be smart about it, but really try and hit that throttle. You want your car to be accelerating really the millisecond that 3rd honk goes off. The other way that people will start a roll race is typically you'll have somebody count off, and you can kind of see that in my video with Motor Tube. You had somebody counting off, and it's kind of somebody hanging out the window and kind of giving a 1, 2, 3. There's no perfect science to it, guys, but the idea is the same. You want to leave kind of right when that person says 3, so you have to anticipate it just a little bit. Otherwise, the guy's going to jump out on you, or girl, but you got to make sure that you're ready to go. So at any rate, those are kind of my big tips for roll racing. Obviously, it's RPM band, making sure you know your car, making sure that you understand you know, your gearing, and also making sure that you leave at the right time. All of those things will help you, and don't put yourself at a disadvantage. So I want to kind of leave you on sort of a parting note when it comes to roll racing, guys. You know, please be safe. You know, you can really get hurt if you don't exercise caution. One, never roll race in the rain, guys. I've seen people do it. You could not be more of an idiot if you want to go out and roll race in the rain. Please do not do that. Also, please do not go around and roll race in traffic. You've got people rolling around with children. You've got, you know, minivans and SUVs and people who literally don't know how to drive. And you know what? You're going to end up either hurting yourself or you're going to hurt somebody else. So you know, guys, it's fun to own a sports car, and they're made to have fun. That's why we buy them. But please be responsible, guys, in terms of how you use the speed. I mean, I don't want to preach at you too much, but guys, you know, I'm a 40-year-old, and I've had a lot of really fast cars. I'm as guilty as anybody when it comes to, hey, you know, how do I want to use the power? Do I like to have fun in the cars? Absolutely. But guys, you have to be smart about how you do this, and that's why you see so much more roll racing at tracks. And I hope they continue to do those kinds of things, because it's a much safer venue to do it. You know what? It's just a lot of fun. And some cars are really made for roll racing. I mean, you know, just the way it is. Some cars aren't drag race kings, and they just perform better roll racing. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the content today. You know, like I said, I mean, I just wanted to kind of do a little video to give you a few little tips here and there, maybe learn a little bit. That's kind of what my channel's all about, and hopefully you liked it. So until next time, guys, RacerX.